Welcome! Good morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are. For this video, I'll be talking about a subject that's quite important to me personally, and a subject I feel is important for as many people to know anyway, regardless of whether it affects you directly. Gender and gender identities. Now, you see, most people's view of gender is like this, but it's a little more complicated than that. I will do my personal best to explain the genders that I do know. Keep in mind, everyone's definition as such of any particular gender may be different to someone else's. So just because your idea of a particular gender differs from mine or from somebody else's doesn't mean either of you are wrong. Simply go with whatever label suits you, and nobody has any right to challenge you on your gender identity. First of all, I'm going to briefly give an account of the main genders, and then I'm going to go into some of them in a little more detail. Keep in mind, I don't know everything, okay? I know a lot, I don't know everything. First, we have the binary genders, which is what most people would usually think of when you talk about gender, which is male and female. And then there are the non-binary genders. There's a whole big long list of those. There's hundreds that probably haven't even been named yet, but there are so many non-binary genders that it wouldn't be possible for me to go into them all. So I'm going to go into the most common ones, and I'm going to explain them as best I can because I don't want to offend anybody. It's not my intention. Non-binary is generally, it's sometimes used as an umbrella term for anything that's not male or female. Some identities that are under that very large umbrella is agender, one word, not two, by the way, neutrois, which I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing correctly, neutral gender, demigender, bigender, trigender, and pangender. And then encompassing all of those lovely definitions and names that I've just given you is gender fluid, which I'll go into later. One thing I want to say before I start is your gender or sex does not determine your sexuality. Those two are completely unrelated. Those are two completely unrelated subjects, unrelated parts of your personality, of your life, of your mind. They're not related. The second thing I want to say is nobody's too old or too young to realize their gender identity or to come out. There's no set age for discovering parts of yourself. There's no set age for discovering more about yourself to show the world. The last thing, possibly the most important, it's not just a phase. You can seriously hurt someone by saying that, so please don't. I guarantee you they know their own mind better than you do. Gender identity is a person's private sense of their own gender. This is separate from their assigned sex and appearance. Your assigned sex is what you were interpreted as at birth, as in the doctor looks at your reproductive organs and makes the classic Pokemon move, is this a boy or a girl? This is where the terms AMAB and AFAB come from, which is assigned male at birth or assigned female at birth, which is usually what would go on to your birth certificate. Male and female are what's known as cisgenders, or binary genders. Binary is kind of referring to the biological sex of things, i.e. your reproductive organs, which means male or female. Then there are the non-binary genders, which is a gender identity that doesn't fit within the binary of male or female. It's used as an umbrella term, as I mentioned before, or as a completely separate identity as in of itself. Right, so the first one I will go to is agender, which is all one word. Keep that in mind, it's all one word. Can be literally translated as without gender. Some non-binary gender people feel like they have a sense of gender, but that particular gender is not male or female. Agender people, like me, simply identify as having no gender or a lack of gender. This is very similar to neutrois or gender neutral, but rather than a lack of gender, it means they have a gender, but it's neutral rather than binary. Next we have demigender, which is a gender that's partially but not fully connected to a male or female gender, and in addition, partially another gender that is non-binary. For example, a demi-boy feels partially male and partially some other non-binary identity, or a demi-girl would feel partially female and partially some other non-binary gender. Next is bigender, which means literally two genders or double gender. This can be a combination of any two genders, non-binary or otherwise. Then we have trigender, which is the same as bigender, only involving 3 different gender identities rather than 2. And then we have pangender, which is anyone who feels as though they identify as all genders, either simultaneously or having a fluidity between many. Then we have gender fluid. This is a gender that varies over time, or at any time can be male, female, gender neutral, or any non-binary identity. Their gender can also vary at random or in response to different circumstances. I got a lot of this information from people on Tumblr, so thank you to all of those who answered my questions. It's quite easy to find blogs like that on Tumblr. Go looking, you'll find a lot of help. And then the rest of the information I got off gender.wikia.com, which is run by a lot of people on Tumblr as far as I know. I might be wrong about that, but it's very helpful and it's got a lot of information. I recommend it if you're trying to figure yourself out. I'll put a link to that down in the description. So finally, I want to thank everybody who watched this video, everyone who liked it, who commented on it. It means a lot to me, and this video, I hope, will help you to explain the idea of gender identities to your friends or family or anyone who you need help coming out to, or figuring yourself out personally, whether you want to tell anyone or not. So thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like if this was helpful or if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment, subscribe. See you later!